A fellow traveler from a faraway land. Great. I knew this day would come. Please, let us leave the live code. Very well, but for several months now, I have been sneaking out at night to worship the gods of my ancestors in the Temple of Demeter. Each day, I leave offerings of food in the hope that we may have a bountiful harvest. The offering it, so I ask. Stranger still. Once I sat in front of my shop like the 100-eyed Argus until dawn to see... Nothing! Nobody entered. And when I told my friend Kabash of this at the tavern, he offered to help invent... It is the only Greek temple in the city. I do not think you should bet, but you do not strike me.
How'd you do?
You carry the gift of Prometheus in your hand. Remarkable. Welcome. It's a sincere... Tell me. Then perhaps the fates... I will tell you everything I know. The one thing I long for above all else before I die. Let us find out with this simple question. Excellent. I see. Now, will you join... Wonderful. Would you say you know the difference between... You are an overthinker too, but if you struggle with right and wrong normally... Well, that's reassuring. You see, out there in the world, being so we would tell lies and bend rules, but under the golden rule. So to navigate this maze, we... So let me ask you this. Is there one system of... Are you sure? Or is it... So is it up to each of us to decide what right and wrong... So if a man feels that stoning to death his unfaithful wife is right, I agree, but... And that's a credit to you. My point is this. I don't think anyone alive truly knows any hard and fast rules. Surely you would agree there are circumstances where an except for any rule you can imagine there are countless situations. If there is one thing I have observed about rules, it is that virtuous people do not need them. And so we must accept our limitation. In mathematics, we would call it an asymptote. A lie, because the only way to create a utopia, this and no other is the route from which and life under... I'm glad. In any case, you mean how did I end up living alone in this? I was a quarrelsome young man. At 19, I left Corinth for Rome. Back then, I used to enjoy verbally sparring with everyone I could. It became heated, he drew a gladius, and I woke up on the banks of the Styx at a campfire opposite Charon. Of course, I settled in, made friends, and learned what I could. So I began looking for a place to hide underground. I returned to my friends above, persuaded them to join me, and 12 of us descended for the last time to live. They are one and the same. The Rome. My generation was wiped out, turned to gold. I think it's safest to assume that if I was to return, I fear that if you were to utter my name in the city, I'm afraid I am the only one left. Some from malnutrition. It has been lonely. Before my... Living in darkness is not without its challenges. The first challenge is dark. And sometimes, when there are grief, the greater challenge is the isolation. So I like so many things in... As you were... Ha! Did we not discuss it at length? You seek the plug. It is a cursed object. I will tell you, but you may find it. Very few know this, but before the Romans came to this city, it was once entirely Greek. When the Romans came, in typical fashion, thus the shrine of Persephone, and when they found an obelisk bearing the name Hades, and the city's dwindling Greek residents witnessing this they gathered their art and valuables. However, there was an even older plot. We had no idea. As a result of their deaths, we extended the tunnel so far that we accidentally... Suddenly it made sense why there was an out of... You see, we proud Greeks had thought the Romans beasts. But it turns out this game is... I think it is best you... There are certain things... Take this... I enjoyed our...
Stop! Do not come any closer. I am Kabash. And let me guess. Trousers. That is welcome news. I was planning to return it Here, take it. Now. Indeed, I stumbled across a collection of dusty curiosities while searching for a place to hide from the... You may... In fact, because it speaks... I will tell you. Indeed, and see what has become of it. I have been... As Egypt declined, and the Greeks had their turn to flourish, their souls came here in great numbers. But instead of adopting our ways, when they found the obelisk bearing the name Osiris, the true god of the underworld, even the ferryman of the dead, known to my people long before as Kerti, as if that desecration was not enough. My only solace is that the Greeks then suffered the same fate when the Romans rose to power. I am glad to hear it. It is inscribed with a script I do not recognize, but it would imply the gods and that my people did to them. I sense a deception. You will never. This work of sacrilege must... You are too late. It is done. You would plunge... If it... I am from Rakotis, which you may know as Alexandria, the name of the city, since the Romans had taken over when the fires broke out last year. I tried to help. On my 7th trip, a passenger demanded I wait. I told him his brother would have to save himself, and he tried to... I awoke on the banks of the river It did not dawn on me until much later that he was the Kirti. This is where I belong. I think if someone is to break the golden, due to the doer. As for the punishment that will come from it, I finally understand. I do not know. What could possibly lie be? All I know is everyone good way. You would plunge. Good way. When I told you that you would not, that you... I disagree. You have undermined and... Very well, I will listen. Why should I let you live? Why? To what? But why? Blasphemous, you... Ha, good. I welcome it. You see, I can only...
The many shall suffer.
When you... you... Why? Why? But... Doubtful. You speak. Many of my ancestors endured great hardship to live good life. We prepare to have our hearts weighed on Anubis' scales, and yet I arrive here to find the Book of the Dead contained only a seed of truth. Did our priests steal and embellish the stories of an old... I am not sure. Perhaps. Very well. I will remain here for a while, and you again. Curse you and curse this place! You again. Curse you and curse this place!
Good to see you.
Welcome to my camp. Hey! Truly, my imagination runs wild. Should I stop my offering? Very well. Now, Galerius, did you know he saved the life of my young friend Fabia? The man is a hero. But of course, I...
Isn't the great temple majestic?
On your best man.
Great
Here I
temple
trust.
majestic. A new face. Oh. It'll. Why do? Very.
Citizens, it is time. Let us meet.
Hello? Do you... But... Like... Yeah.
Citizens, we have a quorate body of voters gathered here to elect the city's magistrate. The candidates are Sextus Sentius Imperiosus and late nominee Gallus Galerius Helva. Marcus Malleolus Gurges withdrew his candidacy earlier today. As agreed, we shall dispense with ballots and candidates will abstain from voting. Let's make this quick. As I say your name, call your vote. I'll start with you, Horatius.
Sentius, of course.
Georgius,
Galerius. He saved the life of my dear friend Fabia.
Dacius,
Sentius.
Virgil,
The man who put a stop to the threats I've been receiving. Galerius.
Ulpius,
Galerius, the man who saved my life.
Rufius,
The man who treated my rheumatism. Galerius.
Citizens, you have made your decision. Your new magistrate is Gallus Galerius Helva.
What?
It has been decided. Magistrate Galerius, would you like to make a brief address?
I just want to say, this isn't something I ever wanted. Now that you put your trust in me, I'm going to do everything I can not to let you down. I'll need some time to put together a list of the changes I want to make around here. But I promise you, there will be changes. My first order is that Dooley is to be freed. Horatius, release him from his cell immediately. Please. Wait, do I need say, please? I suppose not. That's it. You can all get on with your day. Nothing else to see here. Move along.
It's almost as if you're trying to extend my lifespan.
Fortune smiles on you today, Julius. Magistrate Galerius here has ordered your release.
You're going to let me out of here?
I'm sorry it took so long, my friend. And it wouldn't have happened at all if it wasn't for a newcomer. So be sure to offer your thanks when you can.
I will. I will. Thank you, Galerius. I'm so happy.
I'd love to stay and chat, but I've got a lot of work ahead of me. Why don't you go to the baths? Then tell Georgius I said you could have some new clothes. Then I want you to go home and rest. I'll speak with you soon, Dooley. Salve again, friend. How is it possible? Oh, come on. I just did... You're a bit like Sisyphus.
Hello.
He was forced... Oh. Anyway, I don't know which god you managed, so... Anytime now, I'm going to keep... Oh, and if our conversations ever...
Oh, thank you. You can have my... And maybe you can have... My friend Hannibal used to look after, but before that, he gave me a key to the cisterns. Please help me find it. Oh, hope you find it. Oh, look, oh, maybe it is treasure. I can see it for myself. So pretty. And it's just lying out here. Maybe nobody wants it anymore. Maybe no one will mind if I just take it. Don't you dare.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Salve, friend. What?
You, Sisyphus, attack or pursue the stone that always
Fortune smile on you, brother.
Maybe it is treasure. I can see it.
Don't you just love springtime?
And it's just lying out.
Salve, friend. No. Well, not to be honest. In the meantime, I guess.
Just
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
hide!
It's the statues. They're alive.
Hilarious! Help me!
Son of this! Salve.
Greetings and salutations.
And here you are. Allow me to introduce myself. As you have already gathered, I've been known by many names. Nergal to the Sumerians, Osiris to the Egyptians, Hades to the Greeks, and Pluto to the Romans. But the one constant through it all has been my title, God of the Underworld. And I've been watching you with curiosity, mortal, ever since your arrival. You are unlike the others, aren't you? And what is more, you carry a weapon that was never intended for mortals to wield, and you do it so brazenly. But there will be time for your reckoning later. First, as a reward for undoing the desecration of my obelisk, I will allow you to satisfy your curiosity. Ask what you will. My story is many thousands of years long. It is a matter of perspective. God is a label I was given by your ancestors revered me because to them, my knowledge and technology made me incomprehensibly powerful. Just as you might see. But despite all that, my kin and I all adopted this form long ago. In time, we grew fond of the sensory delights it affords desire. No. Long ago, I swore to Persephone that I would remain in this form for as... This is my beloved. Like me, she has been known by many names. Ereshkigal to the Sumerians, Isis to the Egyptians, Persephone to the Greeks, and Proserpina to the Romans. Or perhaps you might know her as the goddess of springtime, the cycle of life and renewal. Your gaze lingers too long. That is my servant. You would have met by the river, though she wears many faces and goes by many names. Kumutubal to the Sumerians, Kirti to the Egyptians, Charon to the Greeks, and Charon to the Romans. Her role is to ferry souls between the mortal. For that, she earned herself the We will talk more later. As you wish. It has come to be known simply as the Underworld. That is a long story. You see, long ago my kin and I set out from our home on Elysium to search for other forms of life among the stars. We discovered your planet and witnessed your kind evolving from You all but destroyed yourselves. You're too short, yet Proserpina saw raw potential in you and persuaded the... So we revealed ourselves to your people in a place called Sumer. We offered guidance in agriculture, toolcraft. For a time you flourished, but soon you were too many for us to oversee. We had sown the seeds of dependency and confusion, and soon my kin had seen enough and gave up on it. We began preparations to return to Elysium, our home world, but my Proserpina could not bear to abandon your kind without she made an extraordinary sacrifice. And so she began her inescapable tradition. Horrified, I acted swiftly. I placed her in, and then I pleaded with Proserpina's father, who the Romans called. It was and is my hope that once, but he refused. I did everything I could. Humans were unworthy of ascension to Elysium. But seeing that I was aggrieved, he proposed if even one human city could prove itself capable of living without sin for a single year, then Proserpina and all of humanity, my part would be to remain behind, the last. And so my reward has been to languish here, enduring a 3,000-year winter, waiting for the... so that I might take her with me to Elysium. And here I am. There were also gods who, like me, have been known by many names. Our leader, Jupiter, as well as Neptune, Saturn, Juno, Minerva, Mars, Venus, Apollo, Diana, Vulcan, Vesta, Ceres, and of course, my beloved Proserpina. As the first wave of your kind arrived from Sumer, I had them build a city in their own fashion, so that I had them build the entrance as a vertical shaft leading to baths, to cleanse them of the sin. I watched wave after wave of Sumerians arrive, and as their civilization declined over the centuries, Of course, believing themselves to be the superior civilization. After another 1,000 years, the Greeks, they built upon the underworlds of their predecessors. To ensure the wager was fair, it was important that my subjects were chosen at random. To this end, I had my servant distribute 1,000 tokens fashioned from silver, a rare element at the time, across all of Sumer. Whoever died while in possession of one of them would be located by my servant. As the tokens were discovered, they were traded, smelted, and fashioned into trinkets, and eventually coined. Later, when they spread to Greece, some placed coins in the mouths of their dead, hoping they would awaken here. In fact, almost all of the tokens are accounted for. Only 2 remain. And so after this wave destroys itself, your kind would have squandered the last of its potential to ascend beyond this. It is a regrettable story. To be rid of him, I returned him to his people, on the condition that But the erasure did not take complete. His tales were committed to writing, which came to be known as the Epic of Gilgamesh. Later, the Egyptians would adapt their Book of the Dead and Book of Gates bore less and less. Then, when the Greeks began to arrive, a warrior named Heracles, 2 kings named Sisyphus and Theseus, a poet named Orpheus, and a Trojan named Aeneas. They each told embellished tales of this place, how to get here, and how to escape. And so from Sumer to Egypt, Greece to Rome, your kind has always took. Of course. That is merely the name your people. That is a story dating back to the very first wave. Now this man was unmarried, and many women were vying. All the women, too, were particularly ambitious, their hair woven in elaborate fashion. The draped herself in jewelry. Seeing this ostentatious display, she prayed aloud to any gods that would listen to cover her in gold. While the others indulged at the banquet, she checked that nobody was watching, and pushed her rival from the top of the zip. But I was watching. I took the golden bow left behind by Diana, and I left her to stand there. But that was not enough for the entire... So I had no choice but to wipe the slate clean. And to this day, each suspended in time with only their sight and hearing present. I give your kind a second chance, and when you disobey, and so you ask, if you destroy your... When my kin departed, they left behind many relics. The golden bow originally belonged to... As my collection of golden statues grew, I chose the most ferocious among them, and tasked them with hunting down the Forsaken at my behest. I've always considered that the cornerstone of morality is the ability to determine right from wrong on one's own. No attempt to lay out rules like your Code of Hammurabi or your 12 Tables of the Roman. This should come as no surprise to you, since the Egyptians made a rudimentary attempt with do to the doer to make him do. The Greeks refined it with avoid doing what you would blame others for doing. The Roman Stoics added, treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Even the so-called cultists hiding among you often say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It is the simplest of concepts, and each one of you is born with the faculties required to apply it to any situation. Yet none of the peoples who expressed this rule were able to uphold it. Curious, is it not? For you. This should be enough. I'm able to commune with all of the stat. If she was still conscious, then what? Do you plan to speak in sweeping generalizations? I've seen no sign. Taking one's own life is a self-directed act. Therefore, it cannot be said that one who commits suicide has done anything unto others. Now tell me, the merchant, how is that inconsistent? I disagree. Having watched this merchant, that is precisely what he would expect from others. And he... Now tell me. Ah, the tavern. I disagree. Having watched that tavern keeper, that is precisely what you would expect. Applying this rule always requires speculation to some degree. Not if we're wise enough. Supposing you're... Now tell me. You speak of the moneylender. And he would never have signed a contract pledging his labor for 30 years. All he did was enforce the terms, ignoring your irritating sense of moral. I see. And I fail to see how your system of loans is... Now tell me. The midwife and the paladin. The rule is do unto others, meaning other people. Now tell me, abduction. He did so because she sought to escape. Better that he stops her from escaping, albeit brutishly, than I have to wipe out this entire... Now tell me, do you honestly... I should strike... Now. Good. Only it has long been within my power to see into the hearts of mortals. When I peer into you... Charon, where did you find this one?
I do not remember ferrying you.
You would have us believe.
If that is true.
How did you come to be in this? I do not know. My kin departed long ago. Tread lightly. Enough of this. It's... Why have you... Go. Huh. You know far too. You will remain here as my servant until the... If you anger me or waste my... So, tell me. How so? And be specific. You've... True. He is a volatile and confused. I admit, I have grown to... His cruelty does seem to... If you're right, but if I were to accept that, are you telling me the... How so? And how is that? So you say. Your words are breath. How pathetic. That is a very serious accusation. I am well aware. It is entirely unfair. It was an act of rebellion against the others. Accordingly, these people were all dead when my servant found them. Then you still have the option to end your... Accordingly, every one of those people was guilty of failing to ensure that they failed collectively, and so... How unfortunate that... Ah, but I am a god, and you are a mortal. Why would you expect... Let me ask you this. Do you treat insects as... Do you ensure they have food and... Of course not, because that... Where to begin? In which time we accumulate... It would be most... Because that is the sort... My kin. Make your point. Let me, if you are right, then it would follow that all this time I have been. How can I accept your argument? Wait, what? You have spoken eloquently, and yet, but that would mean Jupiter, Chrysogonus' father, who knew more about you than anyone, proposed a wager I could never win. Perhaps, but if that was so, surely I would have sensed his... As difficult as this is to admit, I've been so fixated on taking my beloved to Elysium that every time one of you sinned, it war. In time, I began to despise your kind for making her believe that you could ever be better than you are. But my rage was not born of malice. Who knew this empathy of yours? This has gone on too long. But know this. If I abandon the wager... I will have Charon make arrangements to ferry the others. Once this exodus begins, the events that brought you to this moment will... What will become of you is difficult to predict. Now, fair...
Oh. Hi there. Gave me a bit of... Well... Know who you are. Oh, did that lady in the forest send you in here after me? I guess I'm fairly certain you and I are the first people to... Fortunately for us, the last person in here was a Roman man named Galerius, who inscribed an account into it. Apparently, there was a community of 20-something people trapped in here. They believed that if even one person sinned, and then, one day, just as Galerius had finished praying for a good harvest, an oracle appeared and told him how to solve the ills of the city, like saving the life of a dying woman, foiling an assassin, and so on. Meanwhile, the oracle walked up to the temple of the mysterious god, and the doors just... Nobody knows what went on in there, but Galerius wrote the oracle must have been more persuasive because the next thing he knew, the ground shook, and the voice of that god rang out over the city. Unfortunately, Galerius' account just sort of stops after that. What became of him and the other people? And did this mysterious oracle single-handedly... I don't know, it reads like an earnest... Anyway, I think I found a way out through the aqueduct that brought water into the city. I'm gonna pause here for a moment and make sure. You go on it.
You're back! But... ah, what a relief. Why don't you tell me what you...
Ah, I see. I thought you might. Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions. You can just call me Charon, if you like. I am sorry I was not completely honest with you when we first met. I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me, I do not. But I have learned, from 5,000 years of experience, that most people find comfort in familiarity. That you died of my rule as the servant of the god of the underworld. Most souls would ask yourself on. As you wish, you were exploring an old tomb when you discovered a cache of forgotten relics. Unfortunately, a nearby hiker saw the scuffle break. You both fought bravely. There was nothing. He died instantly at the scene. That man's name was Al. You were each in possession of a sacred coin called. It means I am now bereft of purpose. There is nobody else to ferry here. No. Perhaps you have heard the tales of the Greeks and Romans. Well, those stories. A long time ago, my master created. My orders were simple. It means there is nobody else. I see no point in keeping you here. But I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now. Al! It's so good to see you. You were gone so long I thought I'd never see you again.
Kinda lost track of time in there. You wouldn't believe what we found. The ruins of a long-forgotten city. And there was a tablet describing an oracle who confronted a god and undid an ancient curse.
Sounds like quite a story. And I look forward to hearing all about it. But you two look exhausted. Why don't you hop in my boat and rest while I ferry you back to civilization?
Sounds good to me.
And you? Are you ready to go home?
Hey, you made it. I read your book. And what the critics said. After everything you've been through, I thought you might. So after we got back to the real world, I started doing some research into. I'm sorry I've been so cryptic. Why don't you head on down there?
Oh,
there he is.
You're here. So, you're the hero who somehow vanquished the last of the I'm just teasing. Actually, Galerius and I are engaged, and it feels like the world has just opened up. We're just so oh, it's sweet of you to ask. See you.
You're finally here. It's a crazy story. After you disappeared, even gave us some coins to help us start our lives over. Only, for some reason... Anyway, I wanted to say thanks. Oh, I used Charon's gift to buy a farm in Umbria. It's hard work, but I sleep soundly every night. I know! We're planning to get married next spring. Of course, there's a whole museum full of people.
It's you.
Hello. Galerius said you're very nice. I live at Galerius and Equitia's house. Treasure? Oh, I forgot about it. Bye-bye.
Hi there.
Hello! You're... Oh, of course, sorry. And of course... Oh, I'm living in a house share in London with my wonderful girlfriend. Eventually, I want to travel the world. Did you know there are entire... And you can travel almost anywhere in an aircraft. Oh, sorry, you already know all that. I have noticed people from your time have no idea. Last I heard, Malleolus kept insisting he was the last rightful ruler of the... As for Claudia, she was always so viciously unhappy. Someone said she'd blown up after the horrific way they treated Ulpius and me. Thank you. Ugh. Someone told me she was boasting about getting her claws into some rich, even in your time. Apparently he'd proposed before they'd even met. And last I heard, she'd bought herself a first-class, one-way ticket to join Nigeria? Well, you are the Oracle. Huh. You too! If you're ever in London, I hope...
You are here. Lucy is fine. I mean, if the world knew we died 2,000 years... Speaking of which, I wanted to say that... I'm studying to get into medical school. When it ended, I realized I... You too.
Hey.
Hi there, I'm Hooray. I understand we have you to thank for giving us a second. I'm living up north and studying in the military academy in Modena. The world's changed a lot. But some things stay the same. Still, the ones who pioneered... Ah, you remembered that. In the words of Epictetus, remind yourself. Thanks. He's not my... Oh, I see what you did there. He had more trouble adapting. He got himself disqualified from the UFC. So he started some supposed appeal to people's baser instincts. But his luck finally ran out. You know...
I take it you're the Oracle. Actually, I changed my name to Cynthia. I'm not sure if you heard, but after you drove Pluto off, perhaps she knew right away what none of us had figured out about that psychopath. But he's been dealt with. Anything I want. I'm a woman of me. Of course, I mostly just stay in my villa and have my servant Alexa summon things for me, because it's just... He's still there, all alone. The last golden statue in the underworld. Eternal torment. You too.
I take it you're the Oracle. We have. I'm sorry. I never thought I'd leave that cave, let alone... And it seems I have... I'm working as a consultant to the faculty. Not that I need the money. My...
Greetings. You must be the legendary Oracle. I am told... I am reacquainting myself with Greece. Perhaps one day. Once I have seen all, I hope you would...
You're the one... I wanted to say thanks for sending Galerius to say... I'm just so happy to... Well, it's not like I have to work. Mostly that means baking for my friends and looking at memes while being... Thank you.
Greetings.
Oh, hello. It's lovely to meet you. I'm thankful that you're here. I was sure the person, but thank you for coming. I'm living in Rome again, in a charming little flat by the Tiber. Not far after you sent Galerius to persuade Ulpius not to take his own life. I just want to spend the... Wonderful.
Good evening. Greetings. Thank you for your kind words. I'm recovering. Ah, you remember that. I'm already up to the 19th century, and men have...
Some soiree, innit? Ah, hello at last. Listen, I wanted to express my sincere... Whatever you did in that temple, most... I took the money I made from selling my trinket. In fact, I was hoping to ask your advice. I can't decide between fossil fuels, tobacco, Oh, don't be like that. You can... Oh, of course, yeah. I was just thinking... Cool.
It is an honor. Oh, of course, I too would like to offer my thanks for it. For a time, I returned to Alexander. Instead, I have decided to follow the custom. I spent the first 25 years of my life avoiding the 42 sins that would... Indeed. Thank you.
Hello there. Oh, I go by Gabriella now. I didn't want to be reminded of that monster every time I heard my own name. After you drove Pluto off. I'm living with Ulpius on a little vineyard in Umbria. I'm so grateful to you for making sure he's still with us. You can try... Thank...
Hi. It's nice to finally put a face to the name. I understand I had... The way you just showed up out... I'm living with Gabriella in Umbria. Every day I look at her, so we're living each day sitting together on our terrace with a glass of... And I... Thank you. You too.
Hi.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. I go by Rufus now. For telling Galerius, I probably would have lost, although I think your people have a Sorry, I live with Virgil in Rotterdam, not far from... Good to know. You too.
It's so nice. I wanted to say, and for helping Rufus come to... I'm studying to be an architect again, and of course it's improved immensely. You natives of the... You too as Ruf, if you're ever in the Netherlands.
There you are. Now, there's one more person I...
Sorry if I frightened you. Just a little joke I've been saving for... Allow me to introduce I am Proserpina, former goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. I wanted to meet you in person. I hate to think what would have happened to us without your... Indeed. Suffice it, I was able to control their tongues. I am sorry my messages were so cryptic. I did. I may have given up after witnessing Pluto punish countless pools, so I tried to give them a way to buy more time. So I whispered to Sentius in secret. I knew the danger of humans being corrupted by... I required the creator of the portal to sacrifice their own life. What I did not anticipate is that Sentius would retain his accumulated... He quickly discovered that he could, in effect, of course, once I had taught him the prayer, I could not unteach him. We were all fortunate. I don't know what happened to him. Oh, she inherited dominion over the underworld. She wouldn't say what it was. Oh, she inherited dominion over the underworld. She wouldn't... And you. Oh, and one last thing. Good. Because they remember you. Well done, my friend. Of all the heroes who ever journeyed to the underworld and returned, none came close to achieving what you did. Hercules, Orpheus, Theseus, and Aeneas would be proud.
Thank you. Thank you. I
On your best behavior, I trust?
Hey! You're not thinking about going into the cistern, are you?
You... We... what? What? Oh, thank you. He's here. You distract him. Stay right here and keep him talking while I look for something I can use.
What did you do with Scintilla? Where is she?
So that is how it's going to be. So, you've discovered my secret. So what? What are you going to do about it? Why? Isn't it obvious? And as long as this day I have found a way to prolong my life indefinitely. To cheat death. I have become, in effect, as immortal as the gods. Can you honestly say you would not wish the same for yourself? Of course. There's no way you could have succeeded. Every soul who has ever found themselves here, but man will always sin soon, as I told you the first time, by reliving the same day over and over again, forever. And I will continue living long after your dust. Do you really think you can take on a Who? Scintilla? Where is she?
I'm right here, Father.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Come on, we have to go. Hey, what's happening to you? That light, it's so bright.
Hi there. Well, funny, I was just reading an old tablet I found here. It described an event about 2,000 years. Freed an imprisoned woman named Scintilla, who then murdered. It said the attack caused golden. Apparently, the only person to survive was God, why does I've spent a lot? This is. So you're saying, because a man from 2,000 years. I guess you saved my life. Maybe we can escape through the same aqueduct Scintilla used. I'm gonna pause here for a moment.
You're back! Ah, why do...
Ah, I see. I thought you might. Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions. You can... Most ask... A wise decision. Well, that is a question. I only know... There is nobody... I see no point in keeping you here. But I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now. Al!
I know how...
Maybe not that
How could you...
She left a tablet of her own. I think she... Here.
I don't know what became of you, or if you'll ever read this, but I want you to know that I will never forget you, or what you did for me. It pains me that so many dear friends were not so fortunate. Ulpius, Cynthia, Lucretia, Horatius, Galerius, poor Dooley, and the others.
Sounds like you meant a lot to her. You two look exhausted.
Sounds good.
And you?
many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
What?
Ah, a fellow traveler from a faraway land.
You. We. How did you know he's here? You distract him. Stay right here and keep him talking while I look for something I can use.
What did you do with Scintilla? Where is she? So that is how it's going to be. So, you discovered my secret. So what? What are you going to do about it? Do you really... Who? Scintilla? Where is she?
I'm right here, Father.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Come on! We have to go. The others should be right behind us. Hey! What's happening to you? That light, it's so bright.
Hi there. Well, I was just described an event about 2,000 years. Freed an imprisoned woman named... It said the attack caused golden... Apparently, Scintilla and a handful of other citizens managed... I didn't for one moment think it was, but the way you say that makes me wonder. I don't understand... God, this... So you're saying... I guess you... Maybe we can escape through the same... I'm gonna pause.
Really? Ow!
Kinda lost. There was a supposedly the city was destroyed when a woman, my new friend here. I know how.
Maybe not that creepy. She left a tablet. Here.
I don't know what became of you, or if you'll ever read this, but Octavia, Lucretia, Horatius, Equitia, and I will never forget you, or what you did for us. It pains us that so many of our dear friends were not so fortunate, including Ulpius and Galerius, who heroically tried to rescue Dooley, but never made it back. But there is no point dwelling on what might—
Sounds like you meant a— You two look exhausted.
Sounds good to—
And you?